Well, Nathan, thanks for the opportunity of sitting and having a chat with you. I suppose for most people in Newcastle and Hunter Valley want to know a little bit about Nathan Tinkler, going back to those early days of primary and high school and sport, just a normal upbringing as a young fellow.
Yeah, no, pretty standard. I moved around a bit as a kid actually, and started off at Maitland and then Port Macquarie and Inverell before I come back and landed in Muswellbrook when I finished school.
Yeah, and of course sport, did that play a big part in your early life?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I was probably a lot more committed to sport and that sort of stuff than I was ever interested in school, I can tell you that. So.
Was it only rugby league?
I was pretty happy to have a go at anything, you know, typical sort of cricket in the summer and footy in the winter.
Now the Muswellbrook Rams, now that was something special, wasn't it?
Yeah, not when I was there, unfortunately. You know, it was a just good typical Hunter Valley club, you know, but yeah, no silverware when I was there, unfortunately.
Now, did you captain the Muswellbrook Rams?
No, mate. I was usually happy to get picked in the 17 somewhere, then alone captain or anything like that.
Now back to Muswellbrook, and the Newcastle Knights came in 1988. Was the Newcastle Knights always your favourite team, or did it take a while for you to become a fan of the Knights?
Oh no, look, I was always pretty keen on the Knights. So as I said, I spent some time in Inverell, and the McCormacks were pretty well known up there, and Robbie was a bit of a local hero and that sort of thing. So I always had an attachment. And then when I moved down to the Hunter Valley, when I finished school, and always followed the red and blue sort of thing. Yeah.
Now you have mentioned Bucks and Chief as some of your childhood heroes. Do you have any other heroes in the big time?
Oh, look, I think I always liked Wally Lewis, probably because no one else did. But you know, growing up in New South Wales and stuff, everyone always giving him heaps. But I suppose you got to sort of admire the fact that a guy like him that always triumphed against a sort of adversity, and just a great leader of men, I thought.
Did you ever have an aspiration of playing in the big time yourself?
Oh no, I was. I guess if I'd have had the ability, I would have, but no, never got that. I always knew I was going to sort of play bush footy and that sort of stuff because I enjoyed it, and it was good fun with your mates and that sort of thing. But no, never serious enough. I think. Les Cleel coached us when in under 18s. He told me I was the only guy that liked training less than he did. So,
well, of course, that was the worry out of the team, I suppose. Les
he coached Inverell when I was up there.
Yeah. Leaving school and then going straight into the workforce, was that in the back of your mind always to be an electrician and get into that particular field?
No, look, I finished school and people say, "Oh, what was year 11 and 12 like?" I was like, "It was pretty good social couple of years, you know, won a couple of grand finals and it was really good, but school-wise it wasn't too impressive, and so, you know, getting a trade was a pretty good option for a guy like me. So fortunate enough to get a start at the old Bayswater Coal, which is now Mount Arthur North, as an electrician, and had a good apprenticeship.
Well, it went from there to overnight success. Was it overnight success, or were there a couple of gambles along the way? How did it all happen?
Yeah, overnight success. I think that's what people determine when you've sort of reached a point and they want to know you. But no, it was a bit of a hard slog. It was a tough sort of 4 or 5 years to get to where we were. But some good people around me and supportive family and stuff like that, we got there, so it was good.
To be able to borrow substantial money and chase a dream or two, was that a big gamble for you in those early days?
Yeah, I don't know about borrow. We sort of put everything we had into it, and then we ended up, you know, there's a couple of other shareholders in the company and that sort of stuff that, like me, had sort of put in the hard money, and we got there. So it was, you know, great result. Changed a few people's lives.
Absolutely, and it's going to change a few more.
Yeah.
How important has family been in that success to this day?
Oh, of course, you know, they're absolutely. You know, I'm just still just a average Joe, and you know, if you haven't got family, you haven't got anything. So you know, same as today as they were then, they're still my number one asset. Yeah,
and of course married to Rebecca and 4 children.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
At a youngish age.
Yeah, no, that's right. You know, up the valley. We didn't get All-Star in that back then, so I started early, and you know, it's been good.
Obviously, success has its benefits, but I should imagine there are times that it has its downsides too. So wealth and expectations are not everything in life.
No, exactly, and you know, people tend to draw a lot of conclusions and all this sort of stuff about, you know, what you like based on what they read or hear or see, or some bloke down the pub or whatever, and you know, I think the wealthier people are perceived or something like that, the taller the tales are, so to speak. But, you know, I'm still the guy that a lot of guys in the valley worked with and know and played football against and all that sort of stuff.
You are notoriously media shy. Is that for a reason, or is that just your personality?
Oh no, look, I think I avoid the racing industry and stuff like that a fair bit, and just because I still enjoy my work and my family and that sort of stuff, and I just find if you get involved with those sort of things, it can just be a never-ending sort of circus, and so no, look, I haven't got a lot to say, so there's no point, you know.
Does it get to a situation every now and then where everyone seems to be tapping you on the shoulder? Can you give us a hand with this?
Oh yeah, there's a bit of that. There's a bit of that. You know, you sort of I do the things that you know I think are worthy or that I've got the time for. But you know, it's you know, something like this. It's important, I think, for members to sort of see me and understand that I am you know, positive and doing this for sort of the greater community. It's not a rich guy trying to force his way into own a football team.
Yeah, racing's an absolute passion. Patinack Farm,
yeah.
Immediate success. Did this all come about from lazy days spent at Skeletar Park?
Yeah. No, I used to love a day at Muswellbrook races, but sort of always been a fan of the horses and stuff, and I suppose you know, it's probably got a bit out of hand, but it's good fun. I enjoy it.
What's your vision for Patinack Farm in 10 years' time, sir?
Oh look, you know, I'd hope by then sort of time we're at the point that Darley are. You know, we compete okay at the moment, but you know, we won't get real success until we're breeding our own winners. I won't feel. You know, I'm certainly a lot more excited about racing the Casino Princes and Hussons and Wonderful Worlds than I ever was about you know, racing a horse I bought, say. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I suppose here for everyone in Newcastle, you sponsored the Cameron Handicap one year and actually won that first year.
Yeah, that was a bit lucky. Yeah, with a horse I sort of I'd always been a big fan of, a horse called Rahub. I actually seen him win at Port Macquarie one day, and I thought, geez, this is a horse, this bloke. And then yeah, followed up and bought him when Tim Martin had him, and yeah, won a couple of nice races with him. So it was good.
Very good horse indeed. Tinkler's Motorsports now the Newcastle Jets, of course, and you've certainly turned the Jets around. You have given an indication that you want to possibly bring the Falcons back, maybe a netball team here.
Yeah.
So the Jets, Motorsport and the Knights are just a start of what could be a very, very big Tinkler Sports Group. Yeah,
no, look, absolutely. You know, I think you know, Hunter's always been a really proud sporting region, and we've got a long list of stars on, you know, both the national and international stage to say that we're a proud sporting region, and you know, I think it's great that if we can provide those pathways here locally for our future sports stars.